So you're interested in learning how to play a musical instrument, but there's one small problem. You don't know how to read music. Fear not. This presentation will put your mind at ease as we go through the fundamentals of note reading. Music is printed on a stave. A stave, or a staff as it is also called, is a series of 5 parallel horizontal lines. For piano and other keyboard instruments, you will find 2 staves, one on top of the other. Each staff represents one hand, right hand on top, left hand on bottom. For most other instruments, you will only have one staff. At the very beginning of the staves, you will find something called a clef. Here are some examples. 1. The G clef. 2. The F clef. 3. The C clef. Each clef is like a key that unlocks the mystery of what the notes mean. In fact, the French word for key is clef, which is spelled C-L-E-F. Different clefs are used for different instruments, based on the types of sound they produce. This is purely for ease of reading. Let's take each example one at a time. The treble clef, or G clef, as it is also known, tells us where the note G is. If you look closely at the staff, you'll find that the treble clef curls around the second line from the bottom. This line represents the note G. You will find G clefs in music for high-sounding instruments such as violins and flutes. What about the other lines, you ask? The other lines, starting from bottom going up to the top, are E, G, B, D, and F. A great mnemonic for this is every good boy deserves fudge. Now have a look at the spaces between each line from the bottom up. There are 4 of them. These spaces are the notes F, A, C, E, which conveniently spells face. Now I'd like you to make your own staff on a piece of paper. After you have written down all 5 parallel lines, write the names of the notes on each line, leaving space between each note letter. Then, fill in the spaces by writing their names down. You'll find that the letters go in alphabetical order from E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Did you notice that there is no H, I, J, K, etc. through Z? That's because the musical alphabet stops at G and repeats itself. In other words, the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. It just keeps repeating itself. Contrary to what it might seem, we don't repeat the same notes over and over again. Now in reality, when we progress up the musical alphabet after G, we get to A and our sounds or pitches get higher and higher. Therefore, my rendition of the ABCs does not completely apply. For instance, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, etc. Our second example is called the bass clef, or F clef. Have a look at the image of the bass clef above. It is called the F clef because the 2 dots surround the line that represents F. Bass clef signs are found on music for low-sounding instruments, such as the cello and double bass. What are the lines called when a bass clef is present? Starting from the bottom going up, we have G, B, D, F, A. I like the mnemonic, good boys do fine always. Sorry girls, I haven't yet figured out one for you, but please feel free to email me suggestions, as this would be greatly appreciated. How about the spaces? Again, from the bottom up, A, C, E, G, or all cows eat grass. Now, if you thought that adding an extra clef wasn't confusing enough, here's one more. The alto clef. The alto clef, or C clef, tells us where the note C is. It is used for mid-ranged instruments, such as the viola, a slightly larger violin that plays lower notes. If you look at the clef, you'll see that the clef goes inward at the middle line. This tells us that the middle line represents the note C. This C is important because it is called middle C on the piano. It is found in the middle of the keyboard. Lines from the bottom up are F, A, C, E, G, or face G as a mnemonic. Spaces from the bottom are G, B, D, F. Good boys do fine. Remember, just because you're playing in a different clef than another instrument doesn't mean that you both can't play the same notes. For instance, the top space in alto clef, which is the note F, is the exact same pitch as the bottom space in treble clef. Again, it is only for ease of reading that we use different clefs to represent pitches played by various instruments. For example, if a violist played music with a bass clef, he or she would eventually run out of lines on the staff and would have to have many of the notes written above the top line. That brings us to ledger lines. Often, composers will add extra lines above the staff if they run out of space and wish to add higher notes. Middle C in bass clef is the first ledger line written above the staff. It is also the first ledger line below the staff in treble clef. I hope that this little tutorial on how to read music has been helpful. This has been a presentation by the Maestro Musicians Academy. For more information, kindly visit us at maestromusicians.com.